Okay, so hey guys, I have caught the Lisianthus bug. You might hear some stuff in the background. I am in my kitchen, and my kiddo is in the kitchen as well doing some cleaning. This I've caught the Lisianthus bug. This is one of the ones. It says the Corielli, the third light pink F1 pelleted, and I am so late planting this or trying to get it to germinate now. I should have started this probably December and at the very latest February, which was today's the 11th. So that's a couple of weeks past even the latest time I should have done this, but we're gonna try to do it because it's not about getting flowers. I just wanted the challenge to see if I can get them to germinate because they say it's very difficult to get to germinate, and I am curious as to how well I can at least get them to germinate. The seeds are very small and they are pelleted. You can see them in here rolling around a little bit. There's supposed to be 50 seeds in this little tiny thing, and I can't even tell. They're so tiny, that doesn't even look like 50 with how tiny they are. I'm amazed. So this one is the Corielli. I think this is the one that's pink, and then the other one was a lavender. It's a really pale lavender, really pretty. Voyage 2 lavender. It's also an F1 pelleted. I'm told that the F1 is in relationship to bloom time. That F1 typically blooms in the early period of the warmer weather, and then there's F2, F3, all the way up to F4 being your either fall or winter blooms. So they didn't have anything that was after that, so I'm assuming everyone bought them all up. They all probably decided to get the F2, F3, F4, especially if you're like me and kind of late. They wanted as much time to get them to grow as quickly as possible, and they don't have to start them as soon. So when you're talking about having later blooms, it'll give them a longer span in order to germinate and get blooms. Both of them say between 100 and but this one's actually sooner. The Voyage, the lavender one, is 140 to 150, and the pink, the light pink, is 150 to 165. That's almost half of the year in order for them to get to germinate. And it does give you tons. Johnny always gives you tons of information about temperature, moisture, all kinds of things to best give you the success to get them to germinate. So we're going to try and follow the instructions as much as possible. You basically don't even cover it that much, maybe some vermiculite over the top, or you just leave them without anything on top. You want them to literally just right on top of the soil and keep them moist until they germinate, which takes about 10 to 15 days for both of these as far as I can tell. Let's see. Yes, they both say 10 to 15 days, and you want to try and keep them at 70 to 75 Fahrenheit. And this is all on their website. You should be able to look up all of this information as well just to see. I cannot seem to find Lisianthus seeds from anywhere but Johnny's. Like, I wanted to go to my nursery, maybe, getting it at a local place rather than having them shipped, but Johnny did an excellent turnaround with getting these seeds to me. I thought it was going to take at least a week, and it only took maybe 2.5 days for them to get the seeds out to me, so that was a big plus as well. So I'm going to do as much as I can fill up in each of them. So I'm going to do this tray, fill up with all the seeds as possible, and do the next one as well, because I have 2 of these trays. These are just the Fairy Moore's cheap $7 trays that you can get at typically Lowe's or Home Depot. It's either 50 or the Fairy Moore's type trays, and it's a 72 cell. I have my regular pre-moistened soil right over here off to my left. I'm going to try and get it all mixed in as much as possible. And then I'm going to fill this tray up. Probably going to be very messy because I don't have anything to keep my tray from getting gross and disgusting off of anything, but I will just clean very diligently once I'm done. As my daughter likes to tell me, we have no more seeds for anything. So this is probably not going to be the last set of seeds I start because it's just a lot of fun. But I'm going to keep going. Hopefully my battery doesn't die before I get this done. Okay, so I think that's good. I got it just enough so that it's moistened enough, but it's not too sopping wet. Because we want to be mindful of any type of fungal or mold type growth or anything like that. See if I can get all of this in. I should have enough for 2 trays of soil. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, and we'll see you when I am done. I'm back. So we're going to go ahead and put in the seeds. I think I'm starting with the Corelli first, and then I'll work my way to the Voyager 2. I ended up doing 2 seeds in the beginning just to test to see how it will work out with doing 2 in each one. I know that they need some space, and these are already tiny cells, but I'm hoping that I can stretch the space I have in my seed trays just to see how well they work. So I put 2 initially, and I ended up getting 10 extra seeds. It's supposed to be a little vial of 50. I actually got 60. And then when I did the Voyager, I actually ended up having, I think, 54 or close to the same amount. So they did drop in a couple of extra seeds. Hey, if they all germinate, that will be awesome, because then I have 10 extra seeds. If not, then at least I may not lose 50. Maybe I'll lose a few of them. I'm assuming, I think it said on the package the germination rate was like 89 or 90%. So you just take that number, how many seeds you have, and you should be able to calculate how many seeds you might end up with in the end if you get perfect germination based on their percentages. It did take me a little while getting these little seeds in there. They are very tiny, but they weren't as hard to manage as I thought they would be. They are small, not the smallest seeds I've had to handle. There are some seeds that are really, really tiny, but with them being specific on how to grow them and things like that, it's not like some of these other really tiny seeds, like some of your herb seeds that you just sprinkle over and then maybe zhuzh around, and then as long as you keep them moist for a little while, you'll start to see something in like maybe 3 or 4 days. These are pretty particular on the humidity, the temperature, like we spoke about before, 70 to 75 degree temperature, and they even have humidity suggestions in there as well, and light requirements, because I do need light to germinate. So since they're a little bit more finicky, I just wanted to make sure that I had just 1 or 2 in each cell, and then if I need to, I can pop the other ones, the extra ones, out, or if one dies, then I don't have to do anything. They're already in each cell. So I didn't want to I'm pretty heavy-handed sometimes with putting in seeds in trays, and I just wanted to make sure that I got everything squared away as to give it the best success as possible. So I hope everything goes well, and I will touch bases back with you guys after about 2 weeks to see if there's anything that came up in the germination. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lightly spritz these. The soil was already pre-moistened beforehand. I'm going to go ahead and give them another little spritz on top to help break down that outer shell on the pelleted seeds, and then that will help them a little bit better with germination. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that I get some good germination and see how this works out. And like I said before, I'm kind of interested in maybe doing soil blocking, seeing how that works. I hear that can be really good for a lot of these types of seeds too, with already having the air exposed around the cell, that it causes the natural pruning process of like the roots, which makes it so that these seeds aren't root bound and maybe a healthier plant. All right, guys, see you in the next video.